celebrating International Women's Day, and you know what? She's an incredible woman for sure. She's an owner of the Happy Sleep Company. She created it. It's Erin Junker with us right now. Infant and toddler sleep consultant. Good to have you on the show again.
Nice to be back.
We are talking about, March break traveling. That, of course, means, we got to get some sleep tips in for parents traveling with babies and toddlers.
Yeah, travel can be a bit of an anxious time. It's supposed to be a relaxing time for families, but sometimes if you have a baby or a toddler, travel can make parents a little bit anxious with regards to how is sleep going to go when we're all sleeping in the same hotel room or my child's in some kind of unfamiliar environment. So just some tips to get parents ready for that so they can actually enjoy their vacation.
Okay, when we talk about infants, when we talk about toddlers, so what age, or babies, I guess, what ages are we looking at here?
Well, generally I'm working with children 0 to 6 years, so I work with a lot of babies, I work with a lot of toddlers, preschoolers, children who are having difficulties with nighttime sleep, with nap times, and that kind of thing. So that's sort of my age range, and that's what we'd be discussing with regards to parents traveling with young families.
I would just stay at home. I just,
well, some people really like to travel on March break.
I know, but it sounds like a lot of anxiety. Like you're saying, what about time zone changes? Okay, so is that the first topic here? Is that going to be a difficult, say you're going over to England, there's a 5-hour difference or whatever, and that kind of messes up a child?
Yeah, it's a big difference. And so if you are traveling somewhere where there's a different time zone, even within Canada, I do recommend that simply you just jump into the new time zone and then jump back when you get back. It might be a cranky day or two while everyone gets adjusted to the new time zone, just like it is for adults. It can be a tough go for babies and toddlers with the time change as well, but it's better than trying to sort of just gradually shift it over the course of the maybe 1 to 2 weeks that you are wherever you are, and then nobody ever really gets on track. It's better to just jump into the new time zone when you get there and then jump right back into your time zone here in Ottawa when you get back.
Yeah, do you find that the toddlers are, because I know people always talk about jet lag and all that kind of stuff like adults, so does it really affect children?
Yeah, it can, just like it does adults, but it doesn't mean that you can't get back on track within a couple of days again, just like adults do.
Okay. Is it a challenge as well if you're staying in hotels with the children? Because obviously it's not their natural surrounding.
Yeah, it can be. It doesn't have to be. So there's definitely some things you can put in place and think about when you're staying in a hotel with a child or just an unfamiliar sleep environment like a vacation home to think about. So the biggest thing when I would think about hotels and children sleeping there is that it is unfamiliar, so try to make it as familiar as you can. Try to sort of emulate what you have at home.
Okay.
So if your child sleeps in a nice, dark, quiet room at home, make the hotel room nice and dark and quiet. If it's not already dark, a portable blackout blind is a really good idea to have. So this is a great example. It's called the Grow Anywhere blind. It fits in a handy little bag, but it gets really big or can be small. It just suction cups into the window, into any window, and then it can be made bigger or smaller with the Velcro tabs.
Okay.
And that can be a really helpful way to make it nice and dark if there's light creeping in and your child's not used to that. Take familiar things. If your child, if you find the hotel is going to be noisy because there's other children in the room next door or just people running up and down the halls, a sound machine can be a really good idea. If you're going to use a sound machine, I just recommend that it be on a steady white noise or rain setting. You can see this one is actually used, and this is for people who are babysitting my child to know where the white noise setting is. I have a little marker on it. It doesn't come like that.
Yeah.
So a white noise setting or a rain setting, and just run it continuously so it drowns out some of those external sounds. And then just familiarities of home. If your child is of an age where it's appropriate for them to be sleeping with a little Steffi and they have one that they love, you take it with you. You don't forget that at home. You take it. If your child is young enough that they're still in a crib and sleeping in a sleep sack, you take their favorite sleep sack with them so they feel cozy and familiar with that. If your child sleeps in a crib at home, make sure they're sleeping in like a crib or a portable travel crib or playpen or something on the go, and not trying to have your infant who's used to sleeping in a crib sleep in a queen size bed in a hotel room. And then their favorite bedtime books and that kind of thing.
Yeah, of course, because then they're familiar with the different stories and feels like they're at home with mom or dad. Okay, so routines obviously very important.
Routines are even more important when you're on the go. I am a big proponent of routines for children. Babies and toddlers like routines. They don't like surprises in their scheduling. They thrive on predictability and knowing what's coming up next, and that's what a good bedtime routine does. So especially when you're on the go, don't just think, well, we're kind of busy, we'll just skip bedtime routine and try to go straight from playing in the pool to going to bed. It's probably not going to work out very well. Have those familiar steps. Have a bath, or a shower for your child, and then brush teeth and read the bedtime stories and then go to bed, rather than just trying to pop from one activity straight into dreamland. It's probably not going to go as well as if you follow the normal routine.
Okay. Awesome sleep habits are very important as well.
Yeah, I mean, if your child already has great sleep habits, then that's fantastic, but don't stray from them when you're on the road. So a lot of parents will feel a little bit of anxiety about sleeping somewhere different and automatically think we need to change everything to accommodate for the fact that we're somewhere different. We need to do the opposite. We need to stick with consistency in what we do at home. So if your child is an independent sleeper at home and doesn't normally sleep in your bed, for example, what I don't recommend is pulling them into your bed in the hotel room, because for an infant or toddler, that's going to be a really hard thing to change when you get back home again. So, you know, if your child was to wake in the night when you are staying in a hotel and does seem a bit off because they're in this unfamiliar environment, you know, give them a couple of minutes to see if they might go back to sleep on their own, or of course then go reassure them, let them know they are in a familiar environment, or they are in a safe environment and you are right there for them, rather than doing something drastic like pulling them into your bed that you would never do at home. That is then going to be a tough thing to reverse when you do get home.
So it's best not to do the quick fix then, is what you're saying?
Not the quick fix, just manage things as you would manage them if your child was to wake at home.
Okay. How about airplane travel? Because I know a lot of parents, I mean, that's something that I would have a lot of anxiety over, especially if you're far distances, you're in that plane for a long time. So how do you handle airplanes?
Yeah, so one of the tips I would give about airplanes might be a little late for people traveling on March break, because it would be to book your flights early in the morning, like early-ish in the morning. So if your flights were already booked, it may be too late for that. But thinking ahead about future travel, definitely early in the morning when your child is still refreshed from a good night's sleep, rather than like 7 o'clock at night when your child's going to have to try and have a full night's sleep on a plane. It's probably not going to happen. So try to book flights early, try to get to your destination, you know, and have an early check-in if you can call ahead and ask the hotel that. So when you get there, your child could maybe have their afternoon nap properly in like a crib in a hotel room, or at minimum, if you get there and you can't get in your hotel room, go for a stroll, enjoy the sights of your new destination, and let your child have a nap in the stroller in the afternoon. But then get checked into your hotel and set up for a nice, proper, maybe even early bedtime to accommodate for a really off travel day.
All right, thanks for the tips. TheHappySleepCompany.ca. Erin Yunker, thank you for being here. Always amazing, always informative. Hey, a streetcar named Desire is coming to Ottawa. True. Details next on Daytime Ottawa.